Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. This is a review of the K-Bar US Marine Short. As you can see from the title, this is the mini version of the full-size K-Bar. So let's go ahead and jump on into it, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this blade. This is the Crichton Handle model. You can get this in leather stack as well, but 1095 Covan steel, so just a version of 1095 high carbon. Flat grind is what the website is telling me. Flat grind, not a full flat grind, just a flat grind. Partly serrated. You got a buoy clip design, very sharp out of the box, made in the USA, in New York State. You have a blade length of 5 1/4 inches. You have a total overall length of 9 1/4 inches. You have a grind angle of 20 degrees, and you have a weight of 7.5 ounces for the blade itself. I do not have a weight with the sheath. I would guess around probably 10 ounces total with the sheath. And this is the upgraded glass reinforced nylon, basically a type of Kydex sheath. This is upgraded. This is definitely a plus over just the leather. So those are the basic specs for you. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. How do I feel about this K-Bar US Marine Short? Not really digging it. I'm going to say that from the get-go. Not feeling this blade, and I'm going to tell you why. The pros, and I'll start with the good, and then we'll get to the bad of this particular blade. The blade itself is very thin. You can see there it's about as thick as my thumb, and I wear large size gloves. It's about 1 1/4 inches wide, so pretty thin, narrow blade. That grind is very sharp, and I like the flat grind. The serrated version has about 1 1/4 inch serration, and that serration sucks. I'm just going to come right out and say it. It's strong for cutting if you're like batoning through wood or something like that, but it is not very sharp at all and is pretty difficult to actually cut through any type of cord or nylon strap. I tried doing it on a couple different things and just didn't work very well for me, and just was not impressed with those serrations at all. So if you do want this, do not get the serrated version. It kind of sucks, in my opinion. Just isn't designed very well and doesn't cut very well. But large amount of blade here into a good sweep clip point tip, which is really good. It's going to penetrate well. It's a reinforced, so you don't have to worry. It's a reinforced tip, so you don't have to worry about necessarily breaking it, and it will penetrate and do tactical use relatively well. So the blade design is really good for first tactical use, and then secondly utility tasks of just wilderness survival, cutting tree limbs down, whittling, preparing a fire, preparing your food. Those things come second to the design of this blade, which is tactical first. Being able to stab and penetrate and slice and defend your life against an enemy is what this blade is first designed for, and then secondly for wilderness tasks. Okay thickness on the blade. You're looking, again, for tactical use, it's good. It's not very thick. I believe it's 8.18 inches thick, I believe. It's thinner than 3/16 inch for sure. But that's good for tactical use. Not necessarily always that great for some survival tasks. It's always good to have a nice thick blade when you're having to deal with wood. So tactical use is definitely what this is first designed for. Utility survival second. Moving on to, and this is all good for that. The blade is nice for that, for a 5-inch blade. Not bad, no complaints there. 1095 is good steel. The bad part is from this part backwards in particular, not to mention those serrations suck, but if you get the plain edge, I'm sure it would be fine. It's from here backwards that I'm not impressed with. And the reason is, first off, just by looking at it, when I got it in my hand, it felt like a toy. It felt like a little kid's toy, or like a little knife designed for a little kid. I wear large size gloves, and this handle barely fits in my hands. Barely fits in there. Doesn't really fill it out very well. It's a very thin handle. Doesn't feel very comfortable in my hands. I mean, it's ergonomic, but just is small. In my opinion, if you have large or extra large size glove hands, like if you wear, those are the type of gloves you wear, this is going to feel really small in your hand and kind of uncomfortable, and you're not really going to enjoy holding this knife. This would not be bad necessarily for either a woman or you're maybe giving this to like a Boy Scout who was around 10 years old and this is his first really good quality fixed blade, sure, then this wouldn't be too bad. But for a man of average size, this is just really small for that. In my hand, it's just not very comfortable. The Crichton handle is good texturing and everything, again, just narrow and small. And that hilt, again, is good for tactical use, which is what this blade is originally designed for. But when it comes to wilderness tasks, if I'm having to choke up and do some carving or something, it's very uncomfortable in my thumb joint right here if I'm doing any sort of carving or wilderness use. I don't enjoy that. I would take some pliers and try and bend this upper hilt off if I was using this primarily as a wilderness blade, which most of you probably are. So that I'm just not feeling it, not digging it. The quality is there, it's just too small for me. And for, I would say, most guys out there, there's just, for the price point, much better options, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. The Sheath is a home run though, and they use this on multiple different sizes. On their full size K-bar is awesome. I like that K-bar, and you can get this glass reinforced nylon Kydex type of sheath for that, as well as the Mark 1. Multiple different types of lashings, paracord and molly, all sorts of stuff like that. Drainage hole on the back. Parachute ready. This slides in. You can do it either left or right. Flip the blade. Clicks into place, and these little levers right back here hold on to the hilt. So in itself, this isn't coming out. Then on top of that, they give you an extra lashing that goes over the hilt right there, and then a handle lashing as well on the nylon webbing with a large webbing back there, and you can either molly it to your pack. So this is jump ready, to jump out of an aircraft, a C-130 or something. This is ready to do that, and the sheath is amazing. Zero rattle. The knife is not coming out. You have 3 ways of retaining the blade, and just awesome home run with their glass reinforced sheaths, which they make for multiple different types of models. So I would highly recommend this over the leather sheath when you can purchase it and when it's available and price point and all that. So again, just not really impressed with the knife itself. Just too small, and for the price point, I think there's better stuff out there. Some examples. I just have one on the table. I would take the Gerber Prodigy over this short K-bar, because same blade shape and design. It is thicker in the spine, and just overall much better in my hand feeling, and much better regardless if I'm using it in kind of a tactical or in a survival format. This does not come plain edge though, but these serrations are way better than the serrations on the K-bar. So that's just an example. And this is all same price point. So I'm just going to list off a few, and I'll put them in the description below. But knives I would recommend over this if you're looking like, man, well, I was really excited, and now you totally crushed my hopes and dreams, Aaron. Well, I'm sorry. I just want to be honest and real with you guys. Knives that are in the same price range and in the same size that I think are better, that I've had a chance to use, would be either a K-Bar Mark 1. They come standard with one of these type of sheaths, and those are awesome, feel much better in your hand, a little bit thicker blade, just better designed for wilderness tasks, and the exact same price. So K-Bar Mark 1, a K-Bar BK 15, 16, or 17. Those are about $10 more. The Gerber Prodigy, like you saw, a SOG Seal Pup, a SOG Ranger, an Ontario SP2 Pilot Survival Knife. Is actually a little bit cheaper than this. And then a Buck Tops Conglomeration Nighthawk is also a great blade, right around in the same price range. Really good quality steel for the most part, except for the SOGs, made in the USA, and just would be a better 5 to 5.5 inch blade than what you're looking at on the table. So hopefully this helps you out. I'll put the more information down in the description. Thanks for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.